The gas station on the corner of Route 62 was quiet, a regular pit stop for anyone passing through this stretch of forgotten highway. It was the kind of place where people stopped for fuel, coffee, and a break from the long road ahead. The sun was beginning its slow descent, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. The smell of gasoline mingled with the fresh air, and the hum of the quiet station was suddenly broken by the roar of motorcycle engines. A group of bikers pulled in, their leather jackets gleaming under the fading sunlight. They were loud, their presence imposing. The kind of men who felt the need to show off their power with every rev of their engines. The kind who saw the world as their playground and anyone in their way as just another obstacle. As they parked and dismounted, their laughter and jeers echoed around the station. Among the few other customers was a woman standing by her car, pumping gas. She was a soldier, an army veteran who had seen more of the world's darkness than anyone should have to. Her uniform was old, worn from years of service, but her posture was one of someone who had learned to stand tall in the face of adversity. She didn't flinch when the bikers walked past, her eyes calm but alert. Her heart didn't race, but there was a fire inside her that never truly went out. The bikers, looking for someone to dominate, noticed her immediately. One of them, the leader of the group, a tall man with a scar across his face, approached her with a grin. He was used to getting what he wanted, used to seeing people cower at his presence, but he hadn't met someone like her. Well, what do we have here?" he asked, his voice thick with condescension. "A soldier? All by yourself, at a place like this?" The woman didn't answer. She kept her focus on the gas pump, her face a mask of neutrality. But the bikers weren't used to silence. It made them uncomfortable. And when something makes them uncomfortable, they push harder. The leader stepped closer, his shadow falling over her, trying to make himself seem larger than life. "What's the matter, soldier?" he continued. "You're not afraid of a few bikers, are you?" The other bikers laughed, clearly enjoying the spectacle. They had no idea who they were dealing with. The woman remained silent, finishing with the gas pump and putting the nozzle back. She calmly closed the gas cap, but her eyes never left the leader, who was now just inches away. "Not much of a talker, huh?" the man said, stepping even closer, his chest nearly touching hers. "Tell you what, I've got a proposition for you. How about we take a little ride together? I'll show you how real men live." The bikers laughed again, egging him on, but the woman's expression didn't change. She wasn't scared. She wasn't even angry. What they didn't know, what they couldn't see, was that she had been through worse, had fought battles that no one would ever understand. The horrors of war, the pain of loss, the fight for survival, it had all shaped her into someone who didn't fear intimidation, didn't fear men like these. She had fought for her life, for her brothers and sisters in arms, and she wasn't about to let some bikers who thought they could dominate a woman intimidate her. In one smooth motion, she turned to face him. Her eyes, cold and piercing, locked onto his, and for the first time, the leader took a step back. The energy shifted. The other bikers could feel it, a tension in the air that made them uneasy. "You don't know who you're messing with," she said, her voice calm but firm. "I've fought in wars you'll never understand. And I've seen men like you crumble." The bikers were stunned. They had expected fear, maybe a few tears, perhaps even a scream. But instead, they saw a woman who had nothing to prove. She wasn't a damsel in distress. She was a warrior. The leader laughed nervously, but the other bikers didn't join in. There was something about the way she carried herself that made them hesitate. The woman didn't need to raise her fists or shout. She simply held her ground. She didn't need to prove her strength because it was already there, in the quiet of her confidence. The bikers, realizing they had pushed too far, started to back away, their bravado slipping away like water down a drain. The woman turned to her car, opened the door, and without another word, slid into the driver's seat. As she started the engine and pulled away from the gas station, she glanced in the rearview mirror, seeing the bikers still standing there, their heads lowered in defeat. They had been expecting an easy target, someone they could intimidate, but they had encountered something far stronger, a woman who knew exactly who she was and had nothing to prove. As the headlights faded into the distance, the bikers stood silently, no longer the loud, boisterous group they had once been.